Hey everyone, Nigel and Luke here, and welcome to another edition of Crimes of the Week International. Government officials in Colombia say that they plan to bring charges against 2 German citizens after the pair were caught attempting to smuggle hundreds of arachnids and insects back home with them last week. According to reports, the illegal haul of creepy crawlies was discovered on December 2nd at the El Dorado International Airport in Bogotá. After suspicious cargo was flagged in the suspects' luggage, a search of their suitcases was conducted, revealing 210 plastic containers that were housing the creatures. In all, it's said that 309 arachnids and insects were recovered, which included more than 200 tarantulas, 67 giant cockroaches, some unidentified spider eggs, and at least 1 scorpion. Though the 2 suspects claimed that they were transporting the creatures for academic purposes, investigators say that they had no permissions or permits to back up their story. Officials believe the animals were collected in the municipality of San Luis de Gaisano, in the department of Boyacá. It's said that the arachnids and insects have now been taken to a holding center for illegally displaced wildlife, where they will be assessed before hopefully being reintroduced to their natural habitats. While authorities have said that they plan to bring charges against the German citizens, at the time of this recording, they have not yet announced what those charges might be. This week, Australian federal police announced that they had arrested a serial con man and wanted fugitive 6 months after he failed to appear in court and went on the run. According to reports, 59-year-old Peter Foster was arrested on multiple charges back in August of 2020, after he was accused of running a sports betting scheme where he defrauded a Hong Kong man out of nearly $2 million worth of Bitcoin. Following his arrest in Queensland and his subsequent extradition to New South Wales, Foster was given bail on the conditions that he surrender his passport, wear an electronic ankle bracelet, and not use the internet or a mobile phone. He was also prohibited from leaving his home in Sydney, unless it was a medical emergency, or he was speaking with police or his lawyers. However, on May 20th of this year, Foster failed to appear in court for a scheduled hearing related to his case. He then cut off his ankle monitor and went into hiding. After nearly 6 months of searching, authorities were finally able to track Foster to a residence near the town of Gisborne in the state of Victoria. At the current time, officials are remaining tight-lipped about how they were able to locate the fugitive, only saying that intelligence, advanced technology, and financial tracing aided in the search. It said that Foster was sharing the residence that he was found in at the time of his arrest with another man, though it's not clear what their relationship is or what assistance the man may have been providing him. When police showed up on the premises, Foster reportedly tried to make a run for it, though a police spokesman said that he didn't make it far from the back door. At the time of this recording, Foster is being treated for an undisclosed medical condition in Victoria, but reports say that he will soon be extradited back to New South Wales to stand trial. As we mentioned before, this is far from the first time that Foster has gotten into legal trouble for conning people. In 2017, he was apparently arrested for another sports-related scam, and prior to that, he was behind a financial scandal that involved the wife of former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. Throughout the course of his criminal career, Foster has reportedly spent time behind bars in Australia, Britain, the United States, and Vanuatu. Representatives from England's Northumbria police say that a 51-year-old tourist is dead this week and that her husband has now been charged with her murder. According to reports, Pek Ying Ling and her husband, 50-year-old Fong Sung Hurt, had recently traveled to the UK from their native Singapore for what was supposed to be a family holiday. However, at approximately 7:15 a.m. on the morning of December 6th, things took a dark turn when police in Newcastle were called to the couple's luxury hotel room at the County Apart Hotel on Westgate Road. Apparently, officers were called due to concern about Pek's well-being, and when they arrived at the hotel, they found the 51-year-old not breathing. She was pronounced dead a short time later. Though little is currently known about Peck's injuries or the circumstances that led to her death, it's said that her husband was present when police arrived at the scene, and he was promptly arrested. He has now been charged with her murder. In interviews with local media, Peck's 3 sons said that they were devastated by the crime and appeared to be shocked that it had happened. It said that Peck and Fong had been married for 27 years and ran a number of event management companies back in Singapore. At the time of this recording, the incident is still under investigation. This week, authorities in Thailand announced that they had arrested a pair of suspected kidnappers who were allegedly caught after they posted evidence of their crime to the social media platform TikTok. According to reports, the incident began in July of this year when a man and his girlfriend, identified only by the last names of Zaw and Mai, kidnapped the female victim in the province of PATHUM, THANI. Apparently Zaw and Mai are both Burmese nationals, and the victim is said to be a popular social media influencer who is also from Myanmar. After abducting the unidentified victim, Zaw and Mai allegedly held her at a residence in Klong Wang district, where her ankles were bound with chains and her wrists were bound with ropes. Though it's unclear what the couple initially planned to do with the victim, thankfully it appears that they didn't get that chance. Shortly after kidnapping the woman, they made the bizarre choice to film a video of her and post it on TikTok. Apparently, the video also gave away their own identities. When the video was uploaded, a user in Thailand noticed it and told the couple to let the victim go, while also reporting the incident to police. Zaw and Mai subsequently freed the captive woman, who immediately went to authorities herself and showed them the TikTok video as evidence of the crime that had been committed against her. After fleeing the area, Zaw and Mai were eventually tracked down to a residence in Bangkok, where they were arrested. At the current time, it remains unclear if Zaw and Mai are going to be prosecuted for their crime in Thailand, or they will instead be deported to Myanmar. Authorities in the Russian capital of Moscow say that 2 people are dead this week and several others are injured after a gunman opened fire inside of a government services center. According to reports, the incident took place on Tuesday, December 7th, at a municipal services center located in the city's southeast. It reportedly started when the suspect, identified only as a 45-year-old man, got into a heated argument with a security guard who asked him to put on a face mask, which was mandatory in the building. At some point, the man drew a handgun and began to fire randomly at people. 2 people were killed, and 4 others were wounded, 3 of whom are now said to be in critical condition. Though none of the names of the victims appear to have been released at the time of this recording, it's said that a 10-year-old girl is among the wounded. According to Russian news outlets, the 45-year-old suspect was detained shortly after the shooting, and the weapon believed to have been used to carry out the attack was found at the scene. It said that the suspect is now facing multiple murder charges, as well as illegal arms trafficking for possessing a prohibited weapon. Authorities in Northamptonshire, England, say that a man has been given a 4-month suspended sentence this week after he admitted to serving a meal that caused an elderly woman to die of food poisoning and more than 24 others to get seriously ill. According to reports, the incident took place in October of 2018 in the city of Hinton in the Hedges, when a local church congregation went out for a harvest supper party at a pub called the Crew Arms. While there, the group was served a meal that caused almost all of them to get violently ill. The meal in question was an undercooked shepherd's pie. It was an easy determination to make, since out of 35 people, the only ones not to get sick were the 3 congregants who were vegetarians. Though most of those affected experienced some level of discomfort, nausea, and vomiting, sadly, one woman, 92-year-old Elizabeth Newman, got such a severe case of food poisoning that she died. Her official cause of death was from a gastrointestinal hemorrhage. Upon further investigation, police narrowed down the cause of the incident to the negligent preparation of the meat used in the shepherd's pie. It turned out that the chef, 40-year-old John Croucher, had partially cooked the meat the night before, stopping part of the way through and placing it in the fridge because he needed to go somewhere. The next day, Croucher removed the partially cooked meat from the fridge, heated it up again, but did not take a temperature of the finished dish before serving it. It was also discovered that the pub had already been in trouble with food safety inspectors previously, after they were found not to have any food safety management systems in place. While Croucher was ultimately given a 4-month jail sentence for his negligence, this was suspended for 12 months during a sentencing hearing on December 2nd. Speaking at the hearing, Croucher claimed that the tragedy had made him a better chef and said that it was something he would never forget. The pub was fined £9,000 and ordered to pay an additional £1,000 in costs after admitting to 3 charges of contravening food regulations. A bizarre tribute to a murder victim apparently caught the attention of both police and news outlets in Ecuador last week when the man's friends decided to give him one last party at his funeral. According to reports, the incident occurred on November 29th in the city of Portoviejo at the funeral of 21-year-old Eric Cedeno. Cedeno was apparently murdered the day before, after having just been released from prison for crimes related to drug trafficking. Ironically, it's said that Cedeno was on his way to a service for one of his own relatives when he was shot and killed by some unknown men on a motorcycle. Deciding to cope with Cedeno's loss in their own way, his friends apparently concluded that his funeral should be a day of celebration rather than mourning. As his body was being carried to the cemetery, the friends began to spray the coffin with beer and other beverages. The festivities escalated until Cedeno was removed from the coffin altogether and placed between 2 of his friends that were sitting on a motorcycle. The men said they wanted to take their friend on one last ride, and apparently did so without any pushback from those in attendance. Understandably, the videos of the funeral that were taken and posted to social media quickly attracted the attention of news sites and local police. While it seems that what Cedeno's friends did could have resulted in criminal charges, authorities said that they would not be investigating the incident further because they hadn't received any complaints, and the funeral was a private event. However, the police did mention that they had never seen anything like this at a funeral before. Authorities in Kenya say that 7 people are dead this week, including the gunman, after a police officer went on a terrifying shooting spree near the capital of Nairobi. According to reports, the incident took place in the constituency of Kabeta in Kiambu County in the early morning hours of December 7th. At approximately 1 a.m., local residents heard loud bangs coming from the home of Police Constable Benson Mbatu. Almost immediately afterwards, Mbatu allegedly came outside with his AK-47 service weapon and began to shoot at any bystanders he could. By the time authorities arrived at the scene, Mbatu had reportedly taken his own life. His wife Carol's body was found inside their home, and 5 others who were shot during the incident were also dead. Though it appears that most of the victims' names have yet to be released at the time of this recording, it's said that at least 2 of them were motorcycle taxi drivers. Several others were reportedly injured as a result of the shooting. Though no definitive motive is known behind the crime, it's said that Mbatu and his wife had been feuding for some time in the lead up to the shooting. They were also heard arguing before the incident began. However, officials in the country also say that the traumatic nature of Mbatu's job as a police officer could have also played a role. According to local media, this is not the first time that a police officer has committed a crime like this in Kenya. In July, a female police officer killed 2 people, including a colleague, before taking her own life. And in 2010, another officer shot 10 people in a similar incident. That brings us to the end of this edition of Crimes of the Week International. If you're a fan of the new series, don't forget to tell us in the comment section below. While you're there, make sure to subscribe to Crime Zone for more true crime content like this, making sure to hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest videos. Thank you for watching.